Welcome to part 2 video of module 5. Previous video we discussed about the types of backups. Now we are discussing how to restore from incremental backup from the different types. Okay, first is incremental backup. So the process of restoration from incremental backup requires the last full backup and all the incremental backups available until the point of restoration. So it can be shown by this figure, that is, on Monday suppose you have files 1, 2, 3 taken and it is fully backed up, and Tuesday you take file 4, and so what is incrementally done is file 4, so that is incrementally backed up. Wednesday you have updated file 3, which is incremental backup again. Thursday incremental backup, and Friday suppose these files are all corrupted. In that case you need to go back to a point on Thursday because that is the stable state. So in that case you just need the last full backup and all the available incremental backups. Okay, that will recover to the previous state as on Thursday. Next is restoring from cumulative backup. So this is a faster restore. Why? Because let's consider the example. On Monday files 1 to 3 fully backed up. Tuesday file 4 is cumulative backup. Then Wednesday you have 4 and 5, so cumulative backup. On Thursday again files 4, 5 and 6 are taken, so cumulative backup. Okay, now supposing again on Friday these files are all corrupted, so we just need the full backup and the last cumulative backup to get the whole thing stable. Okay, so that's why we say it is a faster restore. Okay, so the details are given right here. Next is the backup architecture. So the common architectures are client server architecture with a backup server or multiple backup clients. Okay, so you have a client and server, okay, and multiple backup clients. So you can see in the figure there is the backup server and backup clients may be multiple, and you have a storage node and a backup device. So actually the server initiates, okay, the backup, okay, and the backup client has the data that has to be stored in the backup device. So the server gives an intimation to the storage node that there is some data to be backed up in the backup device. So the server initiates the client to send the backup data to the storage node, which stores it in the backup device. And after storing the metadata, that is information regarding anything of the data that is stored, the time, etc., all those information will be passed on to the backup server, and it is maintained in a catalog also. So that is the architecture. The explanation is given right below. Next is describe the backup and recovery operations. It was a KTU question. So if we go to the first part, that is the backup operation, you have the architecture figure, just a little difference. On top you have the backup clients and below is the backup server. Okay, and all the steps that I mentioned earlier, that first the backup server initiates the backup process. All those steps that I mentioned earlier are given here. Please go through. Okay, it's all numbered for easy understanding. Next is the recovery operation. After the data is backed up, it can be stored when required. Okay, and this is again initiated by the client. So upon receiving a request for restoration, an administrator opens the application to view the clients that have to be backed up. Okay, and the administrator selects the data to be restored and the specified point in time to which the data has to be restored. Okay, and all this information comes up in the backup catalog. Okay, and it has to be intimated to the backup server. Then the backup server instructs the storage node to mount the data required in the backup device, and then the data is sent from the backup device to the client. Next up, the backup methods that are normally used are two: hot or online, cold or offline method. So hotline backup or hot online backup is the application is up and running with users accessing their data when the backup process is going on. That's the main difference. Please go through the advantages, disadvantages and all that. Then cold or offline backup says that the backup, when it is done, the application is shut down. Okay. Then you have another type of recovery, that is bare metal recovery, BMR. That is, in a disaster recovery environment, BMR refers to a backup in which our things like OS, the system, software, hardware, then application config, all those are backed up for a full system recovery. Example for BMR technology is SCB, which is server configuration backup. Okay, so all our system, software and hardware etc. can be backed up so that we can start over again. Next, what is this SCB? Okay, so during disaster recovery, the server configurations are recreated. Okay, you can see the server configuration backup creates and backs up the server configuration profiles based on user defined schedules. The profiles include OS config, network config, security configs, etc. Mainly there are two types of profiles: the base profile, which contains the elements of operating system required to recover, and the extended profile, okay, which is larger than the base profile and contains all the necessary information to rebuild what the application environment. Okay, now the considerations for restore or backup are like some questions like this. The customer business needs to determine like what are the restore requirements, RPO and RTO, what is needed. Okay, what timing is needed for a backup, then which data all must be backed up, how frequently should the data be backed up. Even in WhatsApp at 2 a.m. there would be a automatic backup. Have you noticed it? Anyway, so question 20, explain various backup technologies. So there is direct attached backup, LAN based backup, SAN based backup, mixed backup, which is a combination of LAN and SAN. Then of course network, that is NAS based backup. Okay, which is coming in the next question. Okay, so let's discuss the first one, that is direct attached backup. So here the storage node is configured on a backup client and the backup device is attached directly to the client. So you can see in the figure, it's a simple figure. You have the backup server, then the application server or the backup client and the storage node are on the same, mounted on the same, and you have the backup device. Okay, so you can see that the data is sent from the backup client straight away to the backup device. Okay, then you can see that after the thing is done, the metadata is sent back to the backup server. Okay, then next we have the LAN based backup. LAN based backup says that, yes, you can see in the figure there is a LAN connected, okay,